Yo, it's Mellow, and today we're looking at part 2 of the Jamaican mango farmer that got arrested with 60 guns. In this episode, they're looking for Biggs. I'm going to give a short recap for the ones that were a little confused in part 1, but if you know what's going on, skip to the timestamp. Alright, so Biggs is the guy in Florida that sets everything up. Bill Allison is Biggs' #1 guy in Canada. Biggs plans the deal. He tells Bill Allison all the details. Bill Allison links either Harris Poyser, which is the Mango Mun, or Kamar Cunningham and his friend Lewis. The first thing we seen in the last episode was Bill Allison meet up with Harris Poyser at Don Mills and exchange mangoes. Bill Allison takes the mangoes to his house and puts it in his garage. The police didn't see any guns, but later through wiretap, we hear Bill Allison tell Harris Poyser, "Don't worry about the 30 we gave you. We have chrome ones next." That's how the police confirmed that 30 guns were exchanged that day. The next thing we see is Harris Poyser, Kamar Cunningham, and Lewis all meeting up at the parking lot next to Scarborough Town Center and talk. Then, Kamar Cunningham and Lewis drive to Cornwall, Ontario, which is on the border of the US and Canada, to pick up another shipment. This day, the police couldn't observe the transaction because Kamar picked a hidden spot. But at this point, the police believe there was another transaction of guns, so they intercept another phone call, where we hear Cunningham complaining about the quality of guns he got from Poyser. There, they realize Cunningham is the one getting the guns into the streets. Through the next wiretap, they find out that 60 more are coming across the border and that they're wrapped nicely. The next thing we see is Harris Poyser and Lewis driving to Cornwall in separate vehicles this time to get the next shipment of 60 guns, with the police trailing them in a helicopter. With the thermal cameras on the helicopter, we see Poyser back into a driveway and exchange bags with someone. While Poyser is on the way to give the guns to Lewis, who also drove down to Cornwall, he was boxed in on the highway and arrested with the possession of the 60 guns. The last thing we seen was Kamar Cunningham and Harris Poyser getting sentenced. This video is about how they put their focus on Biggs, the one who's in the States facilitating all these deals, and how the ATF located where in Florida the guns were purchased. They also show how they interrogate and extract information from suspects. So I just want to state that I generally made this video for educational purposes only. Like, I'm not trying to promote crime in any way. I don't condone any crime that happens in this video. I'm literally just doing this to show people things that happen in Toronto that you just wouldn't know about. A lot of people don't know about this right here, and I love crime videos, so you guys can get off my nuts. Let's get into this video, man.
We suspect what happened is once we seized the 60 guns in Cornwall, they shut down operations, and those 40 guns never made it back into Canada, and we never had any further intercepts to indicate that those guns made it into Canada.
There is little chatter on the lines.
We were only intercepting Biggs through his conversations with Bill Allison and with Harris Poyser at that point. So once we arrest those individuals, it's quiet. It's quiet.
At this time, we still didn't know who Biggs was. Obviously, he's the central figure who's arranging all of this.
So after the guns are seized, we begin the task of identifying the firearms through their serial numbers and determining where they were purchased and who purchased them.
I was a special agent with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, commonly known as ATF.
So if they would have scratched the serial numbers, they would have been good, like, right? I'm assuming.
The ATF became part of the investigation immediately to help facilitate and coordinate the traces. ATF has to call the manufacturer, who then calls the importer or wholesaler, who then calls the individual dealer, and the individual dealer maintains a paper record of that purchase.
Once
They
you start
trace the
hearing
guns back to
stuff like paper record, it just
Central
gets worse
Florida.
and worse and worse.
The Central Florida Gun Show is at the Central Florida Fairgrounds, and it's held quarterly. Vendors, which are normally federal firearms licensees, they set up a table and they're able to sell to the public. Over 60 of them were bought in that location.
and they discover they were bought by just 3 people.
We go to the gun dealer and we say, okay, can you just give us everything you have from the purchase? If you have surveillance video, we wanted to know, were there other people present during the purchase? In this case, the purchasers.
States is crazy. Look at this. Can you imagine if they had a trading pawn meet in Toronto? City would be smash up.
Acted alone. They bought 10, 15 guns. The exchange occurred just like any other, and they walked away. So what we found was that the purchasers were not what you would call like career criminals. However, they were exploited and used by career criminals to put their name on firearms.
So combined, those three individuals ended up purchasing 58 of the 60 handguns within 4 days of them arriving in Canada.
It's a very short time to crime. The time it takes for an illegal gun to end up in the hands of a criminal.
And we're used to seeing hundreds of days, sometimes years, on the time to crime stats when we seize a gun.
Time
But in
to
this
crime,
case,
I've
we knew it was
never
a
heard
direct
that.
line from Florida up to Canada through Cornwall.
They don't believe they came through a border checkpoint.
Through our investigation, we determined that they came north into the border on the U.S. side, at which point they utilized a male known to us only as Apache to bring them through the Akwesasne Reserve just in
Through the
Cornwall
reserve?
We had an idea who he was. There was never enough evidence to identify who
Apache.
he was.
They are still trying to put a face to the man they think is calling the shots.
Biggs was the one telling how many were going.
So on the reserve is it's on a direct border to the States. You could just walk through, no checkpoint. That is crazy. I've never heard of that.
He was coordinating with Allison.
never heard of
He was
that, bro.
coordinating with Apache. He was coordinating with Harris Poyser.
For somebody to disguise who they are, where they live, continually move around multiple states in the US, multiple countries, through multiple identities. As far as level of criminal, he would be somebody who's at the top.
They arrest all but one
they
of the
got
suspects
video of
they've
these
identified in this smuggling
They got video of these guys outside the S'il vous plaît talking, bro.
ring.
I didn't
When
see
we do
this
our
in the last video.
takedown, Kamar Cunningham had actually fled the country. He was out of the country in Jamaica, so we put out a warrant for his arrest.
Alright, just have a seat on that wall there.
They bring in one of their very first targets, Bill Allison, for
Bill
questioning.
Allison.
Okay, who's
knew,
Biggs?
This is the guy that got 8 years. I knew he ratted. Wait, did he rat? Let me not say he ratted. Let me hear. Who's Biggs?
Biggs is a guy in the States.
They're closing in
Nah,
on the
he's
man who
ratted.
they believe is the architect of a firearms pipeline.
If you made it this far, like the video, subscribe. Don't be a hater. I just hit 200 subscribers. Yo, I rate all you guys.
Detectives hope to finally put a face on the man they say is at the top of an international firearms smuggling ring.
There's a lot of people that were arrested this morning. We're alleging that you're part of a criminal organization, a large group.
Heart drops.
They've arrested Bill Allison, the target they followed to the
Allison,
shops
bro.
at Don Mills and witnessed
Yes.
receive a package from Harris Poyser, which they later heard was a firearm.
Have you come into possession of firearms in the last 3 months? By anybody on the street or anything like that?
No,
No. So you don't sell or anything
I
like that?
don't sell firearms.
What if I told you we've been listening to you for 3 months on your phone?
You've been listening to my phone for 3 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe possible.
Yeah.
Maybe possible is crazy.
They play back the phone intercepts.
Hello? Hello? Yo, where you at, Jeff?
They want to know who the other voice is, the man he was speaking with.
What's his actual name?
I don't know his actual name. I know his mom.
I know his
And
mom
it just became
is
more
crazy.
clear that he was the son of Barbara Booth.
Surveillance teams identified Barbara
No.
Booth, who they knew as Mumsy,
Barbara?
after she allegedly met with Bill Allison in this grocery store parking lot.
Mumsy got arrested too?
Mumsy got arrested.
That's his mom, but I don't know.
Yeah, she's here.
She's here.
Because you gave her money and to send for him. What do you think Mumsy's gonna tell us?
No, not Mumsy.
What the money's for?
I don't know.
Don't know. Hello?
Mumsy's in the interrogation room. You got Mumsy?
It's Barbara. Yeah. And last name.
Barbara. I know she's holding it
Does the
down.
name Biggs mean anything to you?
Huh?
Does the nickname Biggs mean anything
She's
to you?
not snitching.
Biggs? No.
No, of course she said
Heard that
no.
name before?
She has 2 older sons. One piques their interest.
Okay, what's his name?
Ernest Wilson.
Ernest Wilson, okay. When's the last time you spoke to him?
I don't remember.
What was your purpose?
She's holding
of being
it
Allison
down, Barbara.
I don't remember.
that day?
No.
Okay.
Barbara Booth denies meeting and receiving money from Bill Allison.
If you were to receive a sum of money, $4,600 at the food base, that's something you would remember?
How much?
$4,600.
No, sir.
Yo, that's my
No.
auntie right there.
No, sir.
Auntie Barbara's holding it down. Yo, Bill Allison, write it quick. Auntie Barbara's holding it down, Mumsy.
On June 21st, when we had Barbara Booth, Mumsy, in a room and the other members of this network, ultimately we were able to discover that Ernest Wilson was Barbara Booth's son and also believed to be Biggs at that time.
They got Biggs like that.
Police quickly
Bro.
discover Ernest Wilson is wanted.
Ernest Wilson was a fugitive. He was arrested for possession for the purpose of trafficking cocaine. I believe he fled. He didn't appear in court after he was released, and he fled at that time.
Ernest Wilson was a Canadian citizen that was hiding out in the States and trying to evade arrest in our
And he's
country.
still making plays
When-
in the city? He's on the run for... Oh my
Toronto
God.
police find out. They let us know the marshals down in South Florida were tracking Ernest Wilson.
Thank God I found this
As the
second
manhunt
video.
intensifies across the border, Kamar Cunningham is captured in Toronto.
Why did he
flew
come
back
back
into
to the
Pearson
city?
Airport, and when he arrived at Pearson, he ended up getting identified and arrested.
The Crown prepares to prosecute this cell, but all will not be brought to trial.
Damn.
Shortly after arrest, Kareem Lewis took his own life.
What? What?
Detectives get a call about Ernest Wilson.
The marshals had a location for Wilson in Coconut Creek, Florida, and they were looking to apprehend him. They tracked him
This guy
down to
took
a
his
certain
own life?
apartment complex, but they were too late. He had been murdered, killed via a gunshot wound.
Wait, why you saying
about
murdered
4
now?
hours before the marshals located him. We feel that he was killed
What?
due to an ongoing dispute that he had with others.
So at this part right here, I got too excited and I messed up. So they said Kareem Lewis took his own life, and then immediately they just breezed past it and said that Ernest Wilson right here, which is Biggs, which is Mumsy's son, got unalived 4 hours before the police came to arrest him. So the other guy took his own life, and this guy got unalived that quick, which is insane. But yeah.
I am talking just in general. I am not no parents.
Barbara Booth, she was charged with a very minor offense in the overall scope of the criminal organization. So at that time, the decision was made to drop the charge on her, and then she was able to travel
That's
to
what
the
you're
U.S. to
supposed
collect
to
her.
do. You come in there and you say, I don't know nothing. No comment. I want to talk to my lawyer. That's it. And look,
Son's body.
she went home scot-free.
In 2020, the trial
Oh
is set
my
to go
gosh.
remotely.
This is crazy.
Just months before, Harris
Look at they
Poyser
got these
pleads guilty
ding-dongs on video. With the mango truck man.
to firearms importation and trafficking, leaving Bill Allison and Kamar Cunningham to stand.
There's a lot of elements to that,
Wait,
to meet.
And Kamar Arms importation and trafficking. In 2020, the trial is set to go remotely. Just months before, Harris Poyser pleads guilty to firearms importation and trafficking, leaving Bill Allison and Kamar Cunningham to stand.
Hours and hours
Look how they
of
got these
surveillance
guys
video,
chilling.
hundreds of thousands of wiretap intercepts.
Yeah, we're supposed to get 62.5, but him have $500 for me.
There's no better evidence than listening to the accused with his own voice talk about their own criminal activities.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, the wiretap produced the best evidence possible to result in numerous convictions.
Harris Poyser is sentenced to 15 years
Whoa.
for firearms importation
Whoa.
and trafficking.
Bill Allison was charged in relation to the firearms trafficking. He received a sentence of 6 years and 8
He
months.
cooperated.
Kamar Cunningham was convicted of firearms trafficking, but he was not there to hear his sentence.
How is that possible?
Even though he had been convicted and was facing a fairly serious sentence, they released him on bail. Again,
How?
And then very short time before his actual sentencing date, he was reported missing by his sureties, the people that were supposed to be responsible for monitoring his activities.
How is that possible? How are you giving the man bail after this? That is insane.
And he has not been seen since. So I applied to have him added to the BOLO program. They agreed, and there's currently a $50,000 reward for his arrest.
Kamar Cunningham may or may not be pulling the trigger, but he is definitely putting the firearms into hands of people who would pull the trigger.
Despite the success of takedowns like Project Patton and the thousands of illegal weapons seized each year, crime guns continue to flow into Canada. Police say every gun on the street matters. It only takes one round to devastate a community.
Listen, that was a crazy one. I'm so happy I ended up finding the second part to this. Like, the thing I reacted to was just 18 minutes out of this 45-minute video. So I looked and I'm like, what the heck? There's more? But yeah, man, if you made it this far, like the video, subscribe. Don't be a hater. I just hit 200 subscribers. Yo, I rate all you guys, man. I'm telling you, it's crazy, man. All right, yo. I'm out.